Hi everybody, got a word of caution for you. This is my toast. This is what I'm having for breakfast this morning. My mother-in-law gave it to me. It's cinnamon toast. Yummy. However, 3 things that do not go well with diamond painting: toast, crackers, cookies. Well, 4 chips. Crumbly things do not go with diamond painting. I'm just putting that out there as a word of caution to all you diamond painters who need a snack while you diamond paint. Keep these things away from your diamond painting. Woo! Alright, my blood sugar must be low. I need to eat something. I'll be back! Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel. You're like, what are you working on? I'm working on Daryl from The Walking Dead. I will insert his picture right now. Okay. So, you're like, Lisa, I thought you said Walking Dead was only on Sundays. Yes, it is. Let me tell you about Sunday. Let me get a color. I woke up with a absolutely horrendous sinus headache. Oh my god. And I tried everything. I actually broke down and took the Sudafed because I just was like in misery. Even my husband was like, I got a headache. The only thing I can think of is that Saturday I did laundry, but I walked back and forth to the laundromat, which is not very far. I mean, it's just, 100 yards, maybe 120 yards from my house. It's not far at all, but, walking back and forth and then breathing in the grass and the weeds and the pollen and all that kind of stuff, I just was like, ugh, in misery. So Sunday, I broke down and took the Sudafed, and Sudafed makes me sleepy. If the normal dose is 1, but I mean, the normal dose is 2. If I take 1, I fall asleep. But I was miserable, and I'm like, I want to get rid of the sinus headache. And so, on top of taking, Excedrin, which is a headache medicine, I took I needed a drink. I took the Sudafed. And I drank water because, a lot of times if you have a headache, it means you're dehydrated. So, and I'm not diabetic, so I knew it wasn't anything to do with that. But I was just, oh my gosh, I was miserable. And I was so miserable that I didn't even watch football at all. I watched a little bit of it, and the noise and the cheering and the announcing made my headache worse. And my husband's like, boy, you must really not feel good. And I'm like, no, I don't know what it is, babe, but I go, did you get rid of your sinus headache? And he's like, yeah, a little bit. And I'm like, okay, so it's just I'm getting sick or something. So then, of course, the Sudafed makes me sleepy, so I'm like, I'm gonna go lay down. And so I went to lay down, and I was cold, and so I got under the covers, and I had my Hershey, my cat, with me, and I was sniggling with him, and Greg came in, and he's like, it is really warm in here. Don't you want the air conditioning on? Because I have an air conditioning right above my bed, and I'm like, no, I don't even want the air conditioning on. I'm freaking miserable. I'm cold. And he's like, okay, whatever. And so I slept for like an hour or so, and then I got up, and I felt a little bit better, but not, it's like the Sudafed didn't really work. So I was just really miserable, and it didn't get any better. So finally, I have migraine medicine. I have sumatriptan, which also makes me very sleepy, but it works if I'm miserable. And so I thought maybe, I'd given myself a migraine headache from the allergies or something. You don't know. Your head hurts, you want it to go away. I don't care where it came from, I just don't want to have it anymore. So I took my sumatriptan, and I still did not feel good. And Greg came in and he's like, "Aren't you going to watch football?" And I'm like, "Yes." Because I always watch football. Always, always, always. I did check to see if my Colts won, and the Indianapolis Colts won. And then Greg's team, the Texans, lost. So he was super excited because the new Walking Dead was going to premiere that night. So he's like, "I'm just going to grill a steak. Do you want to eat?" And I go, "Yeah, I'll eat a little steak and salad." And so he made dinner, and I'm just like, I ate, but I just was, I was not into it. I mean, I could have been eating chicken noodle soup because it just, I know you're thinking steak? He made you a steak and you weren't. It was a very, very nice steak. I just was like, and then he's like, "You don't think you have the COVID, do you?" And I'm like, he's so paranoid that I have the COVID. So, no, babe, hon, no, I don't have the COVID. I just, I don't feel good. I said, "I think maybe I have a head cold or something." And he goes, "Okay." So I turned on Sunday Night Football and I started watching it. Yesterday there wasn't really any teams on TV that I wanted to watch. There's so many football teams that they only pick and choose what you're going to see in your area. So I hardly ever get to see the Colts anyway, but I like to watch just to see what's going on. And I love Scott Van Pelt after the football game on ESPN talking about what had happened today and who got hurt. And plus the games I couldn't see that I wanted to see, he talks about that. So anyway, so I started watching Sunday Night Football, and I thought, my eyeballs hurt too bad to diamond paint. So all my dishcloths have been looking kind of ratty. So at the Dollar Tree, I found this Premier. I'm going to sit up a little bit, see if you can see it. This is Premier Just Cotton. It's, I think it's a number 4. What's it say in here? Yeah, it's a 4 medium weight. And so for a 4 medium weight, I use a 5.00 millimeter and H. And so I was doing half double, and this is what I got done. And I just was like, I'm not even, really, this is not helping me. I feel bad. I'm just going to quit. And so I shut the TV off, and I rolled over and I went to bed. And I think I went to bed at like 11. I tried to watch football. And then, of course, I laid in bed for a while and flipped back. But if you know me, I usually go to bed around 2:30, 3 in the morning. So for me to go to bed at 11 is just like crazy. I don't go to bed at 11. I just don't. Since I quit working, my time is my own, so. And then I usually sleep until about 9 and 9:15, and then I get up and so I sleep like 7 hours, maybe 7, 8 hours. So I do okay, but yeah. So anyway, so this is how I'm doing Daryl. I have my thing right here. Daryl has 40 colors. See, 40. So it's a lot. And I don't have any Harbor Freight containers free. So I bought, these sell for like $1 at, well, when I bought them at the Walmart, maybe $1.50. And I numbered them. I have 2 of them, so I numbered them 1 to 28. And then I put the colors in there. The other colors are in my bag. In my Ziploc bag. The other thing is I didn't want to use a Harbor Freight for a painting that I'm only going to work on once a week. So, yeah. So this works for me. And these little pill containers, they fit right in the Ziploc bag anyway, so. And so then, because this is such a confetti heavy picture, I do, like, the next one is S. I'm using my, can you see what I'm doing? I need to sit up because the camera's higher. Yes, you can. So this is my cheap, I was going to say cheap ass, but I'm trying not to cuss. So I was doing number 2, so that's 2. This is an S. So S is, I think S is 11. Yes, S is number 11. So I'm going to go into my box that has 11. I'm going to dump it into the tray that I'm using diamond paint with. And then when I'm done with this color, I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to push this up. And if I come across an S that I skipped, then I got it right there. And plus, I got a little piece of paper right there with the number on it. So that's how I'm tackling this painting. It's if you get it, it's very confetti heavy, which is awesome because, you know, the more confetti, the better, especially on a 40 by 50, I think, because then you get definition, and I like a lot of colors. I mean, there's cartoon ones where you can do like 15 colors or 10 colors and get away with it because, you know, it's a cartoon character. But for like this is like a picture that they made into a diamond painting. I honestly believe that the more colors you have, the better the picture works out. To be. Thank you, Hershey. Anyway, I'm going to... Should I do a fall would you rather? Yeah, why not? Let's do a fall would you rather. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So, I am doing Daryl. I wish I was doing Daryl. Just kidding, honey. Just kidding. All right. We're gonna... Terrible, I know. I'm a terrible, awful person. This is fall would you rather. So, would you rather have a cob of corn for your nose or pumpkins for your ears? Oh, Lordy. Good God. We're talking about for life. Yahoo! Pumpkins for ears? You could grow your hair out and pull your hair over it, maybe? They're funny questions. Funny. I will link it down below if you want to do this tag, or this would you rather. Would you rather eat 20 candy apples or 20 caramel apples? Oh my goodness gracious. That's a lot of apples. I like caramel apples way better than candy apples. We always had caramel apples growing up. When I first had a candy apple, I'm like, what is this? It's like a candy, it's like an apple with a shell on it, and I don't like it. Where's the caramel? I love caramel apples. Would I want to sit down and eat 20 of them? No. Um, at the Walmart, they sell the dip because it always seemed like when I was a kid, when I would eat a caramel apple, I would eat all the caramel out of it, and then I'd just have apple. So now you can buy the caramel apple dip at the Walmart, and they sell it by the fruits and veggies. And so then you can buy apples, and then you cut your apples up, and then it's a dip, and it's soft. So then you can have as much caramel as you want, or you can stick your fingers in it. My kids loved it. They would rather have caramel apple dip than actual caramel apples. So. Yeah, no on the candy apple, yes on the caramel apple, but I don't think I'd want to eat 20 at one time. Here's another one. Would you rather have a pumpkin on your head or a crown of sunflowers? Seriously? Nobody wants pumpkin on their head unless it's moisturizing their hair. I'm going to take a crown of sunflowers, and I would be beautiful. Would you rather jump in leaves or jump in a ball pit? Ooh, I've jumped in a ball pit. They're fun. I used to jump in leaves when I was a kid. I remember being poked in my butt by sticks, so probably the ball pit. Although, it was always fun when I was a kid to jump in the leaves, but then my dad would yell at us. I just raked those up. Get away from there. I'm gonna set that on fire. Back in the 70s and 80s, you could do bonfires, or not bonfires, but burn your garbage. My dad did that a lot. I don't know if you can do that anymore. I'm assuming people do burn their leaves, but I don't know. I haven't burned leaves in a long time. Would you like to eat candy corn for a month or real corn for a month? Real corn. I love corn. Corn chips, corn on the cob, niblets. I love it all. Corn. So candy corn is cute. I'm not gonna lie, it's very adorable. However, it is not my favorite candy. I will eat it, because you know me, I enjoy myself some candy, but I do not think that I would want to eat candy corn every day for a month. My mother loved it. I think it's cute. It looks really cute on cupcakes and cakes, and I will eat a piece now and then, but have I ever went out of my way to buy a bag of candy corn? No. Not unless I was going to decorate something. Would you rather be a scarecrow or a actual crow? A bird? I'd rather be the crow. I always wanted to fly. So, I think I would like to be the crow. I need to find another color. I'm going to do Q. I told you this painting is confetti heavy. I should have, before I turned the camera on, I should have set it up, but I didn't. I'm not lazy. Or I'm a little lazy. Let's see. Anyway, where was I? I'd rather be a crow. Crows are cool. They caw. Eat a lot of corn. My dad hated them because they have the ability to strip corn. And they make a lot of noise. And what else? My dad always had a big garden. He grew up in Michigan. So I don't think he thought crows were that wonderful. Which, in fact, I'm sure he didn't. Yeah. They will eat your corn. They will peck, peck, peck. And they're noisy. But if I had a choice and I had to be either a crow or a scarecrow, I'd rather be a crow. Would you rather clean 12 pumpkins or peel 12 apples? I'm gonna say peel 12 apples because I've done it before. I mean, I made pies and I've peeled apples before. My sister had an apple peeler quarter slicer thinger, and it was super cool. She would it clamped to the counter, and you put your apple on it, and as you turn the handle, the blade would come down and peel the apple, and then it also had where you stuck the apple onto the end, it would go through and core it. It was really cool. My sister Mindy cooks. My sister Mindy and Terry and Christy all are excellent cooks who cook all the time. I'm very, very spoiled because my husband, that's his hobby, is grilling and cooking and stuff. So I don't cook as much as I like to. I used to cook before Greg and I got married. I had to cook for my children, obviously, um, but I haven't done that in a while, and I just let him do it. I do make a few things. I make homemade beans, dried beans in the crock pot. Uh, I make the pastries like I do. I make like pie and apple crisp, and I like to make the cheesecake too. Have you ever made a cheesecake where it's not a real cheesecake, but it's a cheesecake where you take the cream cheese, the two bricks of cream cheese, and you add sweetened condensed milk, excuse me, and sugar, and you stir it up, and you put it in one of those pie crusts from the graham cracker pie crust from the store, the ready-made one, and then you can either stir in whatever fruit or chocolate or whatever you want, and then you put it in the refrigerator and let it harden up, and then you have like a fake cheesecake. I love doing that. Although my gut doesn't love when I do that because, you know me, I'm lactose intolerant. But if I take my pills and only have a little bit, I'm okay. Well, that was quick. I'm gonna find another color. Shall we do L for Lisa? Sure. Let's do L for Lisa. Where's my thing? L is 14. Get a little box. Nope. Okay. Where were we? Would you rather hike and look at the fall leaves or drive and look at the leaves? Probably hike. I'm a, what's the word? Tactile person. I think the word is tactile, where I like to touch things. So if I'm walking in the woods or whatever, I like to like pick up leaves and stuff. Strangely enough, I have only gotten poison ivy twice. So. And actually, the doctor said it was poison oak, which I don't know what the difference is. It all itches. Yeah, I'd rather walk and look at the leaves and pick them up and admire them. I don't know. I think that would be fun. I don't think I'd like to hike, like for hours and hours, but take a walk in the woods and look at the leaves and pick them up and admire them. I think I'd like to do that, as opposed to driving by them going, ooh, ooh, like Christmas lights. Which reminds me, I do like to drive and look at Christmas lights because it's cold. Although I used to make my kids go with me and look at Christmas lights when they were little, when we lived in Arizona, and it was cold. It was chilly. It was in the 40s or 30s. And I'll put right here on the screen what that is in the metric system. But it gets cold in Tucson in the winter. But I would make my kids walk through the neighborhood and look at the leaves. And I'd be like, we're taking the dog for a walk and we're going to go look at Christmas lights. Because when my kids were little, we lived in the neighborhood where the houses were close together, so we could do that. And they got to the point where they would ask me every year, are we going to take a walk and look at the Christmas lights? Yeah. Would you rather design a corn maze or run through one? Probably design. My friend Lizzie, she went to a corn maze last year and she said that people were jumping at her. I think it was like a haunted corn maze. Now, if it's just like a corn maze where you walk through it and nobody jumps out at you, you just try and find your way out of it like a labyrinth or something, I think that would be fun. But if people are fixing on jumping out at me with chainsaws, no, no, thank you. I would rather design one. I need to find my paperwork that says out. And I need to turn my page. Would you rather swim in a pool of acorns or swim in a pool of pine cones? Acorns, please. Probably like a ball pit. You ever held a pine cone? You ever step on a pine cone with bare feet? Yeah. That hurts. No. Apple picking or pumpkin picking? What would you rather do? Well, like I keep telling you people, I grew up in Michigan. We weren't poor, but my mom wanted to stay home with us kids, and in order to do that, she was always looking for ways to save money. So we had a big garden. So when I was a kid, my dad would grow pumpkins. They grow really easy in Michigan. The only problem we had was the deer would come out of the woods and take a bite out of one here and there. I don't think I ever ate acorn squash from my parents' house that didn't have a little nibble from a deer on it. So, but we used to go apple picking and cherry picking and blueberries, raspberries. And in fact, my sisters went blueberry picking and sent me a picture, and I was super jealous that I was not in Michigan picking with them. And when I was a little kid, we took a field trip and picked apples. And when my kids were little and we lived in Virginia, I took apple picking. But there's nothing like in the fall when you go to a farm or you have your own farm and you go and you find the pumpkin that you want to buy in the field. That's always fun. I don't know. We were really down to earth people that, I know a lot of kids, they don't know where like their food comes from anymore because they don't live on a farm, but that's not the way I grew up. We always had a big garden, so I always, I knew where food came from. I knew how it was grown. Trust me. We had to weeding. Hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. In fact, when we were in trouble, I'm going to do W. When we were in trouble, my parents' property was on the Grand River, and there was a lot of rocks in the soil. So when we were in trouble, my mom would make us get a bucket. We had to go pick rocks out of the garden. Yeah. Um, I would rather have a spanking and get it over with. You know what I'm saying? And I had those too. Mashed potatoes for a month or sweet potatoes for a month? I like both. Probably, I don't know. I need sweet potatoes in the fall, like at Thanksgiving and Christmas. I love sweet potatoes. You know, where you peel them, cut them up, boil them, and then you drain them, and then you put them in a pan with butter and brown sugar. I really do love me some good mashed potatoes. I love loaded mashed potatoes too. You ever had loaded mashed potatoes where they do it with the sour cream and the butter and the cheese and bacon bits and ooh, that's hard. I guess regular mashed potatoes every day for a month. Next one is, would you rather have people over for Thanksgiving or go to a Thanksgiving dinner? Well, it'd be kind of hard to have people over for Thanksgiving, especially living in the RV now. But I'll tell you what we do. I go to my mother-in-law's for Thanksgiving, and then Christmas, um, my husband makes a big dinner, and we do that at our house, and my brother-in-law comes because my mother-in-law and father-in-law go to Tyler, Texas, which is like 6 hours away, and that's where her mom is alive and living. She's 103, and so Grandma comes to San Antonio for Thanksgiving, and then my mother-in-law and father-in-law go to her house on Christmas. So that's how it's ended up for the past, how long now Greg and I have been married? 9 years. So we do Thanksgiving at my father-in-law and mother-in-law's, and then Christmas at our house. And usually my brother-in-law comes over and my husband will cook something. He'll do a prime rib, something really nice like that. He loves to cook, and I know I'm spoiled, so I'm not even gonna. I know that I'm blessed with a husband who can cook because I know there's a lot of women that they work all day and then they have to come home and figure out what's for dinner. And even though he irritates the hell out of me sometimes, going, "What do you want for dinner? What do you think we should have for dinner? I don't know if I like this. What do you think I should have done differently?" I'm like, "Oh, okay. I don't care what you cook as long as I don't have to make it." No. It's a terrible thing to say. Terrible, terrible. All right. Next one. Would you rather play football or play baseball? I played powder puff football in junior high and I hated it. I like to watch football. I love to watch football. I didn't play baseball, but I played softball all the time when I was a kid. Of course, we did it at school. The neighborhood kids, we'd play baseball in our backyard. Our church, I was on the church base, or not baseball, foot. I'm saying football. I was on the church softball, and then we'd play other different churches. But I only think I did that for a couple of years or so. I'm not saying I was any good. I cannot tell you how many times people said if you open your eyes when you hit the ball that you'll actually hit it. Yeah. I was not very athletic, but I love watching all of them. I love going to games, football games. I love going to baseball games. When I lived in Tucson, Arizona, I used to go to the spring training games. I took my kids. We had a blast. I'm kind of, I don't know how you say it. My husband teases me and calls me Grace, and it's not because I'm graceful. It's a bad nickname because I'm not graceful. So yeah, no, not graceful at all. So yeah, no, I've never been good at sports. I always told my mother she should have put us in ballet because I'm telling you what, I should have learned how to do something. I hope I'm still recording. I should have learned how to walk upright. Everybody jokes with me and says, I don't know how you can be how you could have been a waitress for so long because you trip over yourself all the time. So I'm gonna do this weird end symbol. 37.99. 37.99. Sorry, dead air. 37.99. Would you rather, this is our last one, camp in a pumpkin patch or camp in an apple orchard? Ooh. You mean like Linus and the Great Pumpkin? An apple orchard would be fun too. Ooh. Ah. Oh, I'm going to say the apple orchard. Apple trees are beautiful. They're not very tall. Kind of short, stubby, kind of like me. But they're pretty trees. We had wild apple trees when I was growing up, and they were gorgeous. The apple blossom is the state flower of Michigan. Oh, it smells so good. They're so pretty. Yeah, anyway. So I'm going to continue on with Daryl and see if I can't find something to watch on TV. And I will let you go. And thank you so much for putting up with me. You guys have a great day. Bye. Thank you.